I am sorry. Welcome back, everybody. For those of you wondering, that song is a 1-4-5, believe it or not. And it's in the key of E because the whole guitar is in the key of E. Welcome back. We're here, Gunslingers, with the one and only Pete Chirico, Texas Jack from the movie Tombstone. Okay,
legendary.
So what is your synopsis on Aces and Eights?
Well, everything that I've read, everything that I've seen, it's always been Aces and Eights was Hickok's hand when he got shot by Jack McCall. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever has been to identify the fifth card, which some people say was a Jack, some people say was a Queen, some people say was a 9, but nobody ever saw it. But Aces and Eights became, because of killing Hickok, Dead Man's Hand.
Right.
Okay. Now here,
the one thing I laugh about is if there's a movie made before 1876, when it's 1873, they're in Dodge City, mm-hmm. and somebody has Aces and Eights, and they go, "Oh, it's a Dead Man's Hand."
Yeah.
That phrase did not come about until Hickok died on August 2nd, 1876.
Well, now here's a rub for this, because I don't believe it. I don't think that happened, because if you go back into history, nobody talks about Aces and Eights until the 20s. Believe it or don't. That's when it came about. And Joe the Boss, Joe Masserino, when he was shot, he was playing cards, and there's a very famous picture of him with an ace between his fingers that somebody placed there for the shot, and that morphed into Aces and Eights. Check it out. Yeah. Still Joe.
Okay.
Joe.
I can't imagine.
We learn something new every day.
Yeah, because think about it. He was in a tent.
Yep.
This was not a building. This was a tent in the dark, in the mud, and with the nastiness that's going around. And he gets shot. When you get shot, you don't just drop. Those.
To say nothing of who you just shot, the most famous gunman in the Old West, right?
Yeah.
Who's saying, "Wow"?
One of the things.
Let's look at the hand.
Yeah.
Which has now been flung to the four winds.
Yeah.
Good point.
One of the things that I read in, I think Joseph Rosa, who was probably the biggest Hickok authority, a fellow from England, wrote several books on Hickok, mm-hmm. and was very good. But one of the things that I understand was that when Hickok was shot, his reflexes were so quick. Even though he was shot in the head, his hands went down to his guns.
Ooh, I believe
it.
It
makes sense.
I believe that too. That his reflexes would be that.
Yeah, it's a sad thing. And speaking of sad, we recently lost Val Kilmer, and of course you were in the movie with him. Give us a good Val Kilmer story.
3 movies with him.
No kidding. What were the other 2?
One of them is Wyatt Earp's Revenge, where he played Wyatt Earp. We did that in 2012. And then in 2018, we did a movie called Soldier's Revenge, where he played the father of the main character.
Oh, no kidding. I don't think
I was the producer on the movie, and I hired him.
There you go.
You know how to pick him.
Val and I always got along very well.
He seemed like a good guy. I met him at the Golden Boot many years ago.
When he got his Golden Boot.
Yeah, I was there, and I was right in the front row. My cousin used to buy the table right in the front every year, so we always get to sit right up front. It was a lot of fun. Very interesting guy, and he did a whole speech, and he talked about going to, if anybody ever wanted to do a movie in New Mexico, he'd be there, Huckleberry. And when he did that, the whole place went wild. It was great. But anyway, so give us a good Tombstone story.
A good Val Kilmer Tombstone story?
Sure,
absolutely.
I can give you a couple. One of them was the first day we were shooting. We're the posse on the Vendetta ride, mm-hmm. so we're there shooting. And I looked over at Val, and this is the first day. Well, before that, everybody warned everybody about Val. They said he has an attitude. He has this. Do not bother him. Don't talk to him. And everybody was afraid of it because Val was an ultimate actor. He was into his character, and he didn't talk just generally about anything. He was in his character. And a prop guy went up to him and said something to him. And Val said, "Why are you telling me that?" And the guy said, I just don't want you to do that. Val lit off at him, called him several names, did that, and it was like, and he walked away sheepishly, the prop guy, and he got fired a week later.
Oh.
But 5-10 minutes later, I looked over at Val and I saw his gun in his holster was half cocked. So I rode my horse over to him and I said, Val, your gun's half cocked. And he said, yeah, so. And I said, somebody sees that in your holster, they're going to know that you don't know how to handle a single action.
Right.
It can be dangerous. You can get hurt, or you can break the gun. And he looked at me and he said, I find those who break the rules get ahead, don't you? And I went, okay, I'm going to argue with Val.
No.
Yeah.
Argue.
Within 5 minutes, I looked over, and he had a different gun in his holster. I rode over to the armorer, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he's fixing. Val broke the gun.
Oh,
He broke the trigger or the little thing on the hammer that holds the trigger back.
trying to warn him.
So I rode back over to Val, and I looked at him, and I said, I see you have a different gun in your holster. And he looked at me, and very sheepishly, he went, I broke it. and then he knew that I knew what I was talking about.
No heat whatsoever.
And so we got along very, very well. Right. Now, in the scene where we first meet, where Turkey Creek and Texas Jack come out of a saloon, we kill the guy.
Right.
We're drunk all night. Well, I'm sure you've heard stories about the drinking on Tombstone, that several of the actors actually drank whiskey because that's what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was drinking. I'm saying, wait a minute, I'm in a bar all night long. I've got to be drinking. So every take, I was going back in there and taking another drink. And I was a little light-headed. And we came out, and then we go over, and we meet with Wyatt. Hang on. Put me on pause for a second. I need a drink. And
need a shot of whiskey there.
Yeah. What do you expect? It cures hoarseness.
We'll cure it. We'll hoist a number 7 next time.
W.C. Field said that one time when he was drinking, and so we come, Turkey Creek and Texas Jack come over, and then we get arrested, and we're standing there, and we meet with Doc and Morgan and Virgil and Wyatt, and Val kept on looking at me, and then later on in the day, I'm walking down the boardwalk, and he's sitting over there, and he goes, "Hey, Pete, come here," and I walk over, and he goes, "You were drunk in that scene, weren't you?" And I looked at him and I said, "I find those who break the rules get ahead, don't you?"
Look at that! Come right back around. There you go.
So yeah, we got along, and then when I hired him for Soldier Revenge in 2018, he gave me one of his pieces of artwork.
Oh,
and
nice.
we sat there, and he had lost his voice, unfortunately, at that time, due to voice throat cancer, and but we sat in the motorhome and just talked about things, and he would hit me on the shoulder, "Oh, Texas Jack, Texas Jack." So yeah, I had great feelings about Val.
Yeah.
In Tombstone, August 8th through the 10th, they're having a walk down in memory of Val Kilmer, because that was the date of Doc Holliday's that they would have a deal there. So I will be there. And actually, I'm going to be signing the new book, my old book, and the new CD.
Very cool. Well, we got about 1 minute left for the break, so give us the name of the book.
The new book?
Prove It Safe.
There you go.
Okay. And
what's the name of the album?
Safety for the movies.
Okay, and do you have a name for the CD?
Yes, Tombstone.
Okay.
Tombstone, perfect, easy.
Catch your name.
Look at
I
that.
have a question for you, Peter.
I have an answer for you.
Did you ever win the
Don't
1,000?
ask me the same. Wait! Don't ask me the same question twice, because I don't remember how I lied to you the first time.
This from a man who said he was once vaccinated with.
A phonograph needle.
Did you ever collect the $1,000 from Munden?
We got a half hour here. That's nothing to me. I can rattle on forever. I got more stories than Disney.
Did you ever get your money out of Munden?
The $1,000?
No, I never beat him.
All right, Pete. Listen,
And, the one thing that was about him, he was so centered on whatever he did. We used to play darts all the time, and I couldn't beat him at darts, and I was good at it.
Very
but
good.
He would just concentrate
He's a
on
marksman.
that, and he was just a good man, and that's why he was the fastest man who ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
A
He's
lot
up
of
there.
people, some people don't like him, and
I met him several times. I never had an issue with it.
I was fine with us.
Pete, we got to go. We're coming up on a hard break. Thanks again. We'll get your info and we'll put it on the internet for you, and we'll have you on again. We got to get you and Frank on one of these days. All right?
Yes, please.
we can do that. We're a good team together.
Okay,
boy.
very-
Absolutely.
Pete, thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Mr. Strayko.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you.
The legend, folks.
A legend. Okay, we're coming up. We got like 10 seconds, really quick. Next is our
Power.
pack second hour where we take phone calls. What's that number, Jimmy?
866-870-5752. Once again, 866-870-5752.
And we'll be back in just a minute.
Yeah.